Hey, at Central Valley Business, I'm your host, Steve Walling. My guests for this segment, I want to welcome back Daniel Renteria. I'm going to welcome for the first time Tyler Mackey. Unfortunately, I've known Tyler many years, and I'm not saying, unfortunately, that I've known him that long, but it's just been, I've been around that long to know him when he was, well, much smaller than he is today. Anyway, Tyler, welcome to the show. Daniel, welcome back
Thank
to
you.
the show. You're with the Tower Marketing District Committee, right? Tower District
Tower District Marketing Committee, yes.
And the Tower District is, as Daniel and I have discussed many times, is really the heart of Fresno in so many different ways.
Has such deep history for so many people. I mean, even though, we know each other from time living in the mountains in Oakhurst and Coarsegold, but my roots are here in Fresno, always were, even though we were up there, this was just one step away from Oakhurst for a lot of us.
It is. And Daniel, it is with deep sorrow that I know that, you're passing your torch on to Tyler. You have a very heartfelt connection here. And listen, between you and me, I want you to come back, keep me posted on how things are going from Daniel's point of view. And if he's not up to snuff, come on back and we'll on camera we'll lay it out, all right?
Okay.
You gonna do that?
I will absolutely do that.
All right. You've been a good person on the show and a good friend. And you've been a great friend to the tower. So, for what it's worth, not that I'm a tower person, thank you from the tower.
You're welcome. It's all been my pleasure, by the way.
So, all right, listen, Mr. Mackey. It's not exactly an easy time right now here in the tower or anywhere else. Like I said, the tower has been the heart of Fresno for many, many years, on so many different levels. In the arts, music, theater arts, just bizarre creativity, food. There's just so much stuff that has been, kind of planted as seeds here, kind of gelled, germinated, and distilled, and moved out into the greater Fresno community. But right now, times are tough, with the viral thing where businesses, unless they're essential, and I don't know exactly how people define that, because my definition is much more expansive than what we see around here. I think, restaurants are important. Can we social distance? Yes, we can. Theater is important. Music is important. Creativity is important. Art hops are important. The various parades that come through, the tower are important to the health of the community, to the health of the individuals. So I commend you for stepping into your big shoes, man.
So, I say it's like the best of jobs at the worst of times is really what this amounts to. I've been around the tower forever. I had a business for 7 years right here in the tower, a design store. So I've been a tower business owner. At the same time, Danny had a wine bar, and me and him spent a lot of time. And that's how we got to know each other and created a strong relationship that's lasted now 10 years. And a lot of this recovery of the tower district is going to be very tricky. I think it's a good time that we bring in some fresh perspective. Not that Danny doesn't have great perspective, but at this moment, we're going to have to reinvent everything we've ever done in the tower. So from the Mardi Gras parade, even though they tell us, say, vaccine comes January, we also know it's going to take years to get enough of that vaccine out to create herd immunity, if that's achievable at all. So we know, and they're telling us now it could be a yearly thing. So this means that we have to adjust our protocols for everything, for parades, for festivals, for wine walks. These processes, these social activities are super important, not just to the financial stability of our district, but also to the emotional stability of our people, to the physical and mental well-being of our community. And so we're going to have to bring these events back, but we're going to have to do it in a very different, creative way. And we're going to need the community to really rally behind our businesses and support them as they do this, because it's just as important that we respect the way that our communities try to come back. The Tower District plans to come back. We definitely plan to follow all the safety guidelines. we don't want lawlessness in the tower. What we don't want to create is a community where one business opens and says, you know, I'm going to kind of ignore the guidelines, and one business says I will, because when the customers come to the tower district, this isn't like all communities. You shop jump. You move from business to bar to restaurant, and we don't want someone coming into one business and being told this is the level and go to the next business. So part of this process is going to be getting our entire community of over 100 businesses on the same page of participation, so we can create a safe community where people can return and get back to normal life.
Tyler, you're right. You're moving into that position. What do you see right now? Not, next year, but over the next several weeks, maybe a month or so, we're potentially going to see some very drastic changes.
Absolutely.
That doesn't mean everything's going to be opened up, because you're right. There's going to be a lot of codes, restrictions, and social norms are going to have to change, stuff like that. How do what do you see for the businesses in the tower currently?
Well, I'm expecting some big news this afternoon coming out of the city. We always do on Thursdays, of course, but I happen to know there might be some interesting news that'll change our trajectory, because truly and honestly, Fresno County is not doing as well, I think, as it should be. I'm fortunate to get to be on a community benefit organization calling for special districts. I serve as a water board director up in North Fresno for Pinedale Water District. So I get to be on these calls, and it sounds like we're going to be staying in for a little longer, and we're going to keep our businesses in this hold pattern. They may adjust businesses that can open some, but for the most part, we're in a hold pattern for another month, it's looking like. And if that becomes the situation, the next month is going to be really vital for the survival of the tower. We've lost some businesses already that we know aren't reopening, about 4 or 5 of them for sure. Some of them are already in the process, and we have a few more that are at risk, highly at risk at this point. One of the challenges I think for it is when we hear these guidelines of 1 customer per 500 square foot, and we think about our tower businesses and the sizes of our spaces, that's essentially 1 customer per store. Most of our businesses are about 500 to 900 square foot shops. So that really is going to make things difficult. We're going to have to get really smart, tapping into people who know how to online inventory and to do online selling in the next couple months. We're also going to have to create some sort of a public movement to save the tower. I think that's probably the most important thing if we end up staying in this kind of hold pattern for another month, is that we stabilize rent. So our businesses are small businesses mostly. We have some with over 100 employees, some with under 50, but over 25. And then we have a lot with under 10. And so what we're going to have to do is figure out a way to stabilize the rents for people that don't necessarily qualify or just are unable to get those PPP loans or the Small Business Administration loans. We're going to encourage all of our members, and I'm going to be tracking information from the county, from the EOC, which is the Economic Opportunities Commission, from the city of Fresno. I've been in touch with all of our local elected leaders that represent the district, and we're going to look out for all kinds of $5,000 grants, and we're going to apply for everything. And we're going to help each other apply for everything.
Who are the elected leaders from the tower?
So for the tower district, we have, boy, I got to get in touch with my supervisor. I'm from a different supervisorial district, I just found out. But we have Miguel Arias at the city council, who his district starts on the south side of Olive. So Olive splits right down the street. South side is Miguel Arias. North side is going to be Councilmember Esmeralda Soria. And so we've already started conversations with them. I think we'll probably end up doing some sort of a charity benefit to fundraise some sort of a stabilization fund. A lot of our businesses are new in the tower, and that is a very common thing. Having a business in the tower, you know that they turn over a lot. And so sometimes you rebrand, you change the name, you're technically a new business, but you've been here for years. The Lincoln would be a great example of that. That used to be Zen Walk Fusion. It was the pizza, takeout pizza before that, but the same person. However, the business name has changed. So my concern is they're not going to be able to apply for these loans because you have to have been in business 2 years. We don't want to lose the businesses that have arrived in the last 2 years at Tower simply because they can't meet those qualifications. So we're going to have to create a stabilization fund that they can access. How that's structured, not sure. Probably some sort of an online charity benefit. We have so many great performing artists in the Tower, from music to theater, and if we can get them together, and some of our big names, raise some money. 1,000 people at $25, 25,000. And Councilmember Soria has already said if we do something like this, she's willing to do some fund matching, up to about several $1,000s of fund matching. And I'm sure we can get other local leaders to do the same, and local personalities who have money. This process has really, this whole disease has showed us how interconnected we are as people. And I think people in Tower, generally speaking, they feel an ownership of this district. It's their home, whether they're just a patron or a business owner, they feel an ownership. So they have a buy-in. If we continue to build on that buy-in and encourage people, shop at your restaurants, eat out here, do the takeout, it's safe. We're going to create a safe community. And then we go on a little further beyond that and say, look, our bars aren't going to open, our theaters aren't going to open, but if you chip in right now, you have some place to come back to. You've got a venue to re-perform at. When we open, you got a place to play your guitar. If we don't reopen, where are you going to go?
Yeah.
We are at risk right now. So we as a community are going to have to actually come together behind these businesses. And even though certain things they might ask of us in order to keep their customers and staff safe might be a little irritating, we have to respect that because we want our doors open. We want them to survive. And the future requires us all working together at this moment.
You know, well said, young man.
Thank you.
And I can truly say young man. No, Tyler, listen, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Tower in a leadership role. You got a huge challenge ahead of you. I wish you the best of luck and success. I would like for you to come back on a regular basis.
Absolutely.
You know, and I want to know, how are our elected officials doing? Are they, you know, sometimes they tend to become a little more self-important, and I'm not pointing the finger at anyone, but, you know, with power comes a feeling of power. But they work for us.
Yeah.
And those that represent this district, they represent and work for the people, not only the people that are here, that have businesses here, but the people that come here too. It's a little different than someone that has the district, you know, outside where you don't have that influx or have that impact on the entire Fresno area. So I want to know, you know, how are they working with you? You know, how are they helping you? What ideas? Because they need to come up with ideas.
Oh, yeah.
They need to come up with things that the Tower can do to not only come back, but to strengthen itself in its coming back. And that, you know, they want to rule from the top, but they gotta, you know, they gotta shed the light to those that are doing the work that hold them up in their positions.
Yeah.
So I want to know about that.
I'm happy to report back. Leadership is about leading, and it's our responsibility as a community to stay on top of this. We're going to host a Zoom call. I'm going to send out to all the businesses and community members that are interested in getting in on more information. I'll give out my email. It's pretty easy. Tyler, Tyler, .g.mackey, M-A-C-K-E-Y, @gmail.com. If you have questions about if you're a Tower business owner, a Tower business supporter, you want to help out with, you know, if we do a concert, anything like that, feel free to reach out to me. That's out there. But we're going to do a Zoom call, and we're going to try and keep the community connected and pushing our
What about
leaders.
the committee? Do you have a webpage or?
The committee, it is the Tower Marketing Committee, their webpage, Danny.
It is towerdistrict.org.
TowerDistrict.org is
Okay.
our website. We also have a Facebook page. I believe it's Tower District Events and Information. Yeah, we're going to be rebranding that to bring in some new social media as well,
Right.
such as Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. So we'll adjust that name so that we can get it across all social platforms.
There you go.
That'll be changing soon.
All right, awesome.
All
Nice
right.
seeing you again.
All right. Thanks
All right, take care.
for having us.
Listen, there was some very important things that were shared here in this segment. If you're in and around the Fresno area, you know, the Tower is putting out a call for each and every one of you to step up in some way, because each and every one of you have benefited from the Tower in some way over the years. And I'll see you when we come back.